Hi there, I'm Vanafay and welcome to Dragon Age Origins, episode 32. Okay, we have completed the Mage's Tower. Our Broken Circle quest is done and dusted. We have the support of the mages. And I think we've finished basically everything in the tower, apart from a few, there's a few locked chests here that we might come back for later, I think. It's not essential that we get them, so... First, let's talk with Gregor.
My men have scouted the tower. It's a mess, but the abominations are gone. You were very thorough. I'm impressed.
Well, of course. Removing every threat we could find would leave you no excuse to use the annulment anyway. Just in case.
And I am thankful you arrived when you did.
I'm sure the circle will be back to normal in no time.
In no time? Doubtful. But it doesn't hurt to be optimistic sometimes. I shan't keep you then. Farewell.
I do like Gregor. Mostly from his interactions with Irving, but yeah, he's not a complete Cullen. So, yeah.
I'm glad I'm still alive, but the Circle's future still remains to be seen.
Really? Oh, he's so creepy in this. Actually, he's always creepy. He doesn't think of mages as people, but it doesn't stop him from crushing on them.
It's over. Thank the Maker.
Or, marrying them in Inquisition, if you go that route.
You really killed all those abominations? I didn't think it was possible. I thought we'd all die here. I'm sure you need supplies after that, don't you?
Certainly do. Alright, let's get rid of some stuff. I don't think anyone has fire spells, so there's no point in keeping the Cinderfell gauntlets. Yeah. I'll get rid of one of the Apostate clothing. I don't know, maybe I'll use the other Apostate clothing as her disguise. But then there doesn't seem to be much use for a disguise, because they always announce that they're a Grey Warden. Wherever they go. Yeah, let's get rid of the Apostate clothing altogether. Let's get rid of the novice runes, I think. Okay, let's see what Sten has. And what he can actually use. Okay, he can put the heavy chainmail on. And the heavy plate. He just needs his ancient elven gloves and a helm. Can't remember where we get those from though. Yeah, he's just going to have to stay in those, I think. I'll get rid of the heavy chainmail and the heavy plate. So, the Archon robes, how do they look? Kinda Dalishy. I like it. I do like it. I could probably get rid of the Archon robes, the heavy plate and the heavy chainmail at the same time then. Yeah, alright. Where's Irving disappeared to? Don't know. Is he in here? No. Could he come all the way down here? With the rest of the apprentices? No, okay. Well, I guess he might be in his office. I don't think it's worth going all the way up there just to try and talk with him. So let's just leave. We'll get to the party camp and actually get some conversations going. Okay.
I don't understand. You look like a woman.
Ugh, Sten. I am a woman.
You are a Grey Warden, so it follows that you can't be a woman.
And why is that?
Women are priests, artisans, shopkeepers, or farmers. They don't fight.
Of course they do. Plenty of women fight.
Why would women ever wish to be men? That makes no sense.
No, your insistence on women not being able to fight doesn't make sense.
Do they also wish to live on the moon? That's as attainable.
Well, then I guess I'm a moon elf because I'm fighting and I'm a woman.
One of those things can't be true. A person is born, Gunari or human or elven or dwarf. He doesn't choose that. The size of his hands, whether he is clever or foolish, the land he comes from, the color of his hair, these are beyond his control. We do not choose, we simply are.
Sten, are you talking into the camera? We can't choose what we are, but we can choose who we want to be.
Can they? We'll see.
Sten disapproves -1. Interesting, Sten. Very interesting. Okay. Well, I think that's most of my progress with Sten gone down the drain. Where is he at now? Like 7 or something again? 8. Okay, wow. Just a little bit higher than I thought. Okay. Well, let's chat with him then.
Yes.
I have a question.
I am hardly surprised.
Nope, never mind. Okay.
Very well. As you wish.
Okay, we should have a painting for him though. I'm pretty sure. Water-stained portrait, yes. Let's give him that gift.
Unexpected. Thank you.
So, he's now at 15. That's brilliant. Okay, I don't think anything else here goes to Sten. Not really. I can't remember if he likes shiny gold ring or if that's a Morrigan thing, but I can give it to him anyway.
You have my thanks.
It's just a +1, but you know what? That's 16, and it's worth it. Okay. Now let's talk
Yes.
with you. I have a question.
I am hardly surprised.
Ah, never mind.
Very well. As you wish.
Sten. Stop being so unattainable. Okay, Alistair.
I'm wondering something. I'd like to know your thoughts about some of our traveling companions. Do you mind if I ask?
Sure, you can ask.
Zevran, the elf. You can't trust him, can you? Do you believe his so-called vow?
Yes, actually, I think I do.
Really? Why? That's a lot of trust to put in someone who tried to kill you.
I'd rather give him a chance to prove himself. He belongs to one of the most effective assassin groups in the world, and yet somehow he failed to kill me. I wish I could say that I believe we're just that good, but I don't. Well, not really. And if he didn't do it that first time, I don't think he'll try again. I want to find out why.
That's very trusting of you. I guess you must have your reasons. What about Sten? The way he looks at me with those eyes. Creepy. And he's so quiet for someone so big.
He's dedicated. Certainly give him that.
Yet he doesn't seem quite so bad as the Chantry tells us. According to them, his philosophy is vile and evil. Yet he seems so reasonable. And yet, he killed all those people. He doesn't even deny it. Doesn't that bother you?
A little. But the regret that he shows, that tells me more about him. And I think it's more important.
I'm not so sure that his regret means the same as it would for us. The Kunari sense of honor is a bit hard to grasp. For me, anyway. What about Liliana? Is she crazy? Or do you really believe in her vision?
I don't believe in your maker. But she does. And I think she really believes she had a vision.
That's one way to put it. I don't know what to make of her. If you look at her when she doesn't see you, she just looks so sad. I almost feel guilty taking her away from her life.
Guilty? It was her choice, Alistair. And in case you forgot, she was very pushy about it.
Yes, I know. Still, I feel badly for her. Morrigan, do you trust her? Think about it. Maybe Flemeth sent her with us for some other reason than she said.
Maybe. But that doesn't mean she's going to betray us. I can't think of any reason why she would, in fact.
Hello? Have you met her? I think she'd need a reason not to betray us.
Come on, Alistair, she's not that bad.
Don't tell me you actually get along with her. Tell me she's just useful and you're watching her carefully.
She seems like a fine person to me. Of all of the Shems that I've met, she and Liliana are ones that I really like.
Great. I am thrilled beyond words. Now, really. Enough. I think my curiosity is sated. Let's get back to it, shall we?
Okay. Sten approves +1, is that from when I gave him a gift or from this conversation? Well, Alistair approves +2, so that's good. Okay, Zevran.
Here I am.
Would you answer some questions for me?
Oh, this should be good. Go ahead.
Why did you want to leave the Crows?
Well now, I imagine that's a very fair question. Being an assassin after all is a living, at least as far as such things go. I was simply never given the opportunity to choose another way. So if that choice presents itself, why should I not seize upon it?
So, what would you rather do?
Now that you mention it, I am not entirely certain. I was but a boy of 7 when I was purchased, for 3 sovereigns, I'm told, which is a good price, considering I was all ribs and bone and didn't know the pommel of a dagger from the pointy end. The Crows buy all their assassins that way. Buy them young, raise them to know nothing else but murder, and if you do poorly in your training, you die.
Sounds awful.
Oh, I don't know about that. The Crows who are actually good enough to survive come to enjoy some of the benefits. In Antiva, being a Crow gets you respect. It gets you wealth. It gets you women. And men. Or whatever it is you might fancy. But that does not mean doing what is expected of you always. And it means being expendable. It's a cage, if a gilded cage. Pretty, but confining.
So why didn't you just leave?
And become the next mark for some up-and-coming Crow? Not likely. The only way to leave is for them to think you're dead. And even then, you'd best be scarce. As for what I'll do in the future, presuming that there is one, I truly can't imagine. It might be interesting to go into business for myself, for a change. Far away from Antiva, of course. For now, naturally, I go where you go.
Won't they find you eventually?
Eventually can be a very, very long time, if one plays one's cards right. Come now, enough chit-chat. Talking about the Crows summons them, you know. Any Antivan fishwife could tell you so.
Zevran approves +4. Nice. Okay. Liliana. I'm just going to go around to win.
Something I can help with?
I'd like to talk to you about something.
Yes? What's on your mind?
I've heard that our Legion minstrels are actually spies. Is that true?
Where did you hear this?
It's just clan gossip from a long time ago.
And you believe everything you hear? Not all minstrels are spies. Most are just singers and storytellers. But some of them are what we call bards.
I thought minstrels were bards.
Many use the two words minstrel and bard interchangeably, but to do so in Orlais would cause misunderstanding. Bards are minstrels and more. Spies, as you say. Some say there is a bard order, but I don't think this is true. Many bards work alone or in small groups, doing the bidding of a patron who pays for their services. If there is an organization behind it all, no one knows who they are.
What kind of patron?
Nobles, mostly. In Orlais, there is much rivalry amongst the highborn. They fight over land, influence, and the favor of the Empress. But they cannot do this openly because it is impolite, and in public, they wear smiling faces and pretend to be civil. In secret, they plot and scheme to destroy each other. It is a game completely meaningless to anyone but its players.
Right. And were you one of these bards?
I have revealed too much, it seems. But it doesn't matter what I used to be. It is the past.
Is that why you learned to fight then?
My skills served me well. But the day finally came when I decided to just put them aside. I found myself in Ferelden and sheltered from bad weather in the Chantry. And when the storm passed, I just did not want to leave. I like to say the Maker brought me here.
Okay, Liliana approves +2, and we got an update with a codex. Okay, where? Okay, there's more to Liliana than had even been apparent at Lothering, however. She spent much of her life as a bard in Orlais, a minstrel, assassin, and spy employed by the nobles of Valroyo in their elaborate games of intrigue. Well, good for Liliana. Okay, win.
Oh, it's been a long day. Rest would be welcome.
You alright?
Yes, of course. I am just a little weary. As you may have noticed, I'm no spring chicken.
Doesn't seem to be slowing you down very much.
Thank you. You're very kind to say so. But in all honesty, I do not know how many years I have left in me. I have lived for such a long time, but there is always something else to do. And I have to keep going in order to do it. I think I will be glad when I am done.
You're not allowed to die until the darkspawn have been defeated. So just don't.
Oh, no. I'm not the sort of person that leaves things unfinished. I'll see this through, I promise.
Okay, win approves +1. Wow, we scraped by with a +1. I'm happy with that, okay. So, Emissary Pether.
The Circle of Magi stands ready to assist, Grey Warden, as do the Templars of the Chantry.
And they're going to work together?
The sincerity of your cause has drawn them together under a common banner. It would not have happened otherwise.
Good to know, okay.
The Circle of Magi stands ready to assist, Grey Warden.
What do they need?
There are always areas to improve on, Grey Warden. The most useful for my talents are runes.
Runes. God damn. Runes for the circle, crafting materials for the Dalish. Okay. So who was it that needed gems then? Is that going to be the dwarves? God damn. Okay, well, I'll look it up later. Alright. Morrigan. Let's have a chat.
I have a thought.
Okay, what's on your mind?
We have an opportunity that I believe we should take advantage of. To the point. My mother was once divested of a particular grimoire by a most annoying Templar hunter. It occurred long before I was born, but even today, Flemeth speaks of the loss with great rage. With the Circle of Magi in such disarray, it occurs to me that this might be the perfect time to recover the tome from their possession, for surely it eventually ended up in their hands.
A tome? What do you need a tome for?
'Tis a book of spells, of the sort that Flemeth has dabbled with throughout her long life. Not the sort of thing that would benefit a mage such as yourself, perhaps, for you were taught a different path. I, however, was taught by my mother. I know a way around the wards my mother would have placed on such a tome. I know the language that she would have written it in. I would find such a tome most useful.
How so?
Useful in the way that it might increase my power. Useful in the way that I would become more useful to you. Does that not follow?
But if she's warded the tome, doesn't that make it dangerous?
Dangerous? All knowledge is potentially dangerous. If you have some fear of me such that I should not be allowed such knowledge, then by all means deprive me of it. I have no ulterior motive for seeking it, however.
Yeah, no motive other than the ones she's already listed. And that's straight and honest enough for me. You know, now that you mention it, I did find a strange book in the tower. Maybe it's even the one that you're talking about.
What is this? The grimoire? Ever since we discovered the condition of the Mage's Tower, I had wondered if it might be recoverable, but I had yet to speak of it to you. How fortunate that you found it on your own. You have my thanks. I will begin study of the tome immediately.
You're welcome, Morrigan.
I do not intend to squander this opportunity to learn more than Flemeth wished me to know. This should be interesting.
Well, well, well. Okay, so +7 to Morrigan. And she's inspired. Okay. Moderate magic. So she's gained a moderate bonus to magic. Lovely. And quest updated. Flemeth's Grimoire. You found Flemeth's tome and gave it to Morrigan. She seems quite eager to start studying it, and Maker only knows what she'll learn from it. Maker only knows. Really? I don't believe in the Maker. Why would I say that? Why would I put that in my journal? Honestly. Alright, so we've got a level up. Sweet. Okay, let's put my willpower up to 30. Magic up to 40. Why not? Okay, so I could get my coercion all the way up to the top. That might be interesting, but I still need combat training. Basic combat training, actually. So I think I'll do that. Yeah. Okay, Life Ward would be cool. I really want to get up to Crushing Prison and... Ooh. We can do Mana Clash. We can do Mana Clash now after we've done the Mage's Tower. Still, it's going to be very useful to have Mana Clash, so I guess I'll just put it in there. And then I'll start working all the way up to Crushing Prison. Yeah. Okay, so where is Morrigan's approval now? 52? We're at 52 with Morrigan. Alistair is down at 31. Leliana's at 46. So, Morrigan, then Leliana, then Alistair, and then everyone else is kind of low. They're very low. Okay. So, Morrigan, let's chat with you again.
I await your command.
I'd like to ask you something.
So, full of questions, are you?
Oh, never mind. Okay, still nothing. So can we ask
I
her personal
await your
things?
command.
Let's discuss something personal.
We are in camp, so 'tis as good a time as any.
Why are you still here? Wow. Sure, though. Yeah, I have expected you to leave as soon as we left the Kukari Wilds. Why are you still here?
I am here because Flemeth commanded me to aid you. Why? Do you wish me to leave? I can do so if you prefer.
No, I don't want you to leave.
Then I assume our discussion ends here.
Oh. Okay, we got a -10 to that. Well, don't worry, Morrigan, I can fix that, I think. I do have gifts to give her anyway. So, silver chain, that's for Morrigan. So, yeah, let's never ever choose that option ever again, because wow. Wow. Okay, let's give her
A
that.
fine gift.
+8,
have my
okay,
thanks.
she's back to 50. I think that's it. That might be all that we have for her as well. Chantry Amulet, I'm pretty sure is for Leliana. Yeah, okay. So, back to 50. Okay. Sorry about that, Morrigan. Okay, Sten.
Yes,
I have a question.
I am hardly surprised.
Yep, never mind.
Very well.
Still nothing from Sten.
As you wish.
So that was just one of the please leave kind of question options that you can
Something
tell
on
people.
your mind?
I have some questions.
Of course.
Just tell me about the Grey Wardens. I think I've already asked him everything here. Okay, never mind.
About the Grey Wardens, anyhow. Fair enough. Something on your mind?
No. Okay. So, Alistair. Alistair needs the... where is it? It's the White Runestone. Pretty sure.
Is that for me?
Yep. Okay, we're at
Really?
39 now.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah, I know. And Chantry Amulet? That's either Leliana or Alistair. Gosh, damn it. I'll assume Leliana.
Oh, how dear
Yes,
of you.
okay, good.
Thank you so much.
Okay, we're at 54 with Leliana now. That puts her above Morrigan. But only because we got the -10 for asking Morrigan to leave, apparently. Whoops. Okay. The Rose of Orlais goes to Win. That can go to Win. This, and this all go to Ogeron. Oh, the Fancy Scroll goes to Win as well. Okay. And Small Gold Bar goes to Zevran. Okay. So, Zevran.
Here I am.
I know. So, I want to discuss something personal.
Oh, this should be good. What would you like to discuss?
Okay, never mind.
Here I am.
Care to answer some questions for me?
Oh, this should be good. Go ahead.
Do you actually enjoy being an assassin?
And why not? There are many things to enjoy about being a crow in Antiva. You are respected, you are feared. The authorities go out of their way to overlook your trespasses. Even the rewards are nothing to turn your nose up at. As for the killing part, well, some people simply need assassinating. Or do you disagree?
Have you ever killed an innocent?
Now there's an interesting word, innocent. How many men do you know who can claim to be truly innocent? But if you're talking generalities, such as children and relatives and bystanders and such, never on purpose. But it happens. It's unfortunate, but death comes to us all. If not me, then some wasting disease, or a fall down the stairs, or at the hands of a darkspawn. It's all relative in the end.
Huh. Like Sten and Morrigan, you have a very practical attitude.
Death happens, as we like to say. And when I get paid for it, death happens more often. As far as enjoying the act of killing itself, why not? There is a certain artistry to the deed. The pleasure of sinking your blade into their flesh and knowing that their life is in your hands.
I'm not sure if I should go with I enjoy violence myself or I know what you mean. Because I'm definitely not going to say that's a bit sick. Or I take no pleasure in killing. Because that's not true. And the other one's just incredibly judgmental. And considering I did basically slaughter that Maleficar who had given up and was begging for mercy on the ground, you know. Yeah, not something I can actually say. Plus, I'm a Dalish, I'm going to have a more practical attitude towards death as well. So sure, I know what you mean.
There are many things I did not enjoy about being a crow, of course. Having no choice, being treated as an expendable commodity, the rules. Oh, so many rules. But simply being an assassin, I like it just fine. I will continue to do it if I can, even if I am not a crow. Honestly, could you picture me doing something else?
Come on, handsome elf like you, of course you can do other things.
Really? I can picture you doing a few things yourself. Of course, all these thoughts are moot. Chances are still good that you and I will perish, eaten by darkspawn or slain by the crows at some point. Very gruesomely, I imagine. But it is pleasant enough to chat about. Come, let's move on while our boots still have some wear in them.
Okay, now hopefully I haven't failed my chance to activate the romance, and that was that. So, +6 to Zevran, and Codex updated. Okay. Zevran shows an affinity for the finer things in life, hardly surprising for an Antivan crow, but his appreciation can be more poetic than he lets on. A simple bar of refined silver or gold, uncomplicated by a craftsman's hammer, is elegantly valuable. Okay. So yes, that's telling me he would like some gold. Let's try again with Zevran.
I've a question, if I may.
Alright, go ahead.
Well, here's the thing. I swore an oath to serve you, yes? And I understand the quest you're on, and this is all very fine and well. My question pertains to what you intend to do with me once this business is over with, as a point of curiosity.
I mean, when everything's done, you could go, if you wanted to.
Could I? And what if I didn't wish to leave?
I'm going to assume that every time he mentions handsome elf, that's when the romance progresses. So I'm going to go for those ones. Well, there's always something that needs doing by a handsome elf. I could always find something to keep us busy.
I'm sure I could come up with a few more if pressed. It is good to know what my options might be, but that is for another time. For now, we have much to do, yes?
Okay, so that was... Oh, Zevran approves plus 11. Okay, so he's happy with his options. Good. Good. Hopefully I am on track with that romance. So... where are we? 38, and he is interested. Good. I will have another go at talking with him, and then we'll give him the gifts. Care to answer some questions for me?
All right, but I get to stare at you luridly while you do so.
Why don't you tell me about some of your adventures?
My adventures? I'm hardly an old man just returned from across the ocean, am I? Should I shake my fist at nearby children while I talk about the good old days?
When you mention your past, it sounds like you've had adventures.
Falling down a flight of stairs is an adventure. Falling into someone's bed, also an adventure. I am assuming what you're looking for are professional anecdotes. Let's see, my second mission ever for the Crows was a bit intriguing. I was sent to kill a mage who had been meddling in politics.
Meddling how?
How should I know? I got the impression it involved sex, but then I get that impression about most everything. Odd, really. As it turned out, the mage in question was quite a delightful young woman. Long, divine legs, as I recall. I caught her in a carriage on her way to escape to the provinces. After I killed her guard, she got down on her hands and knees and begged for her life. Rather aptly, I might add. So I joined her in the carriage for the night and left the next morning.
Really? She didn't try to kill you?
Well, yes, twice, actually. Then she decided to try and use me instead. The woman had actually convinced me to speak to the Crows on her behalf. What can I say? I was young and foolish at the time. Then, as I was kissing her goodbye to return to Antiva City, she slipped on the threshold and fell backwards out of the carriage. Broke her neck. Shame, really, but at least it happened quickly.
Were you upset?
At first, yes. Well, not upset. Surprised is really a better word. Then I found out that she had told the driver to take her to Janellen instead. She had planned to lose me in the provinces. I would have looked very foolish to the Crows. As it was, my master was very impressed that I had done such a fine job of making it look like an accident. The Circle of Magi was unaware of foul play, and everyone was happier all around.
Well, so do those sort of things happen to you often?
Like being spared by a benevolent mark who then helps me escape from the Crows? Yes, it does seem to happen now and again, doesn't it? It was after that when I learned that one needn't let a pretty face go to your head. Professionalism was key. That's my moral of the day, you see.
Oh, so you never mixed business of pleasure?
Well, there is you. But I'll point out that you did have to capture me and tie me up first. Every rule has its exception. Now that I've mentioned tying me up in that context, do we have extra rope about?
Zevran approves plus 2. Okay. Let's try again. I want to see if he's got anything else to say. Answer me some
All right,
questions.
but I get to stare at you luridly while you do so.
Tell me more about your adventures.
Again? Well now, what might interest you, I wonder? Shall I describe the stages involved with Lanthrax poisoning? I watched a man go through all 7 once.
Well, if that's the story you want to tell me. It sounds, interesting.
No, I'll not inflict that upon you just yet. Let's see, how about the largest battle I ever took part in? That would have been the slaughter of Prince Azrin. Did you hear of that down in these parts?
No, not at all. So you killed a prince?
Me? Not personally, but I did take part in the attack. Prince Azrin was 4th in line to the throne, you see. He started off as 11th, but worked his way up the old-fashioned method by inheriting control of an entire Crocell from his grandfather. After assassinating his way through the royal family, the king hired 3 other cells to take down Prince Azrin once and for all. I was in one of those cells.
Is this a common thing in Antiva?
Antivan royalty is very much bound up in the crows. You wouldn't want it run by a bunch of commoners, after all, would you? And this means they get involved in politics quite often. This particular fight nearly bankrupted the nation, I understand. It almost ended up putting a crow on the throne, a commoner. But that's a whole different story. I played a very small part.
So what did you do?
My part in the entire battle was taken up trying to reach Princess Verina, who had thrown in with her brother. I killed about 11 of her guards personally before I got knocked out of a window. I landed in a river and nearly drowned. I was fished out by some urchins who robbed me blind. Made off with my boots, too. At least they didn't cut my throat. And that was my part in history.
Robbed of your valuables but not your life again. You certainly have a lucky streak, don't you?
It's true. I live a charmed life. One of the prostitutes that raised me was a fortune teller. Said I wouldn't die young. She was rather startled by that. But there you go. Tale told. Let's be off before I tell more embarrassing stories, huh?
Zevran approves +3. Okay. You know, it would be nice if I could tell you some embarrassing stories, made up completely about my backstory. But it's not to be. $43. Okay, we are climbing. We are definitely climbing. See if he's got anything else to say. I'd like to ask something.
All right, but I get to stare at you luridly while you do so.
Tell me more.
Well, the only one that's really worth telling is the story of the mission right before I came to Ferelden. But no, I would rather not. I shouldn't have said anything.
You've told me quite a lot. If you'd rather keep that to yourself, then that's fine.
Thank you. Perhaps another day, huh?
Okay. Zevran approves +2. Okay. Well, in that case, let's get down here and give him that gold bar. Okay.
I shall treasure it. Thank you.
54. Brilliant. Okay. And I'm pretty sure that is everything that we have for Zevran. Sweet. So, he's gained moderate dexterity, so a moderate bonus. Brilliant. And let's talk with him again.
What is your desire?
Ooh. Can I ask you a question?
All right, but I get to stare at you luridly while you do so.
What does it take to become an assassin?
Well, the crows would have you believe that it is an involved process that takes years of training, the sort that tests both your resolve and your endurance. Survive that process and maybe, just maybe, you're good enough to start being considered one of them. But quite frankly, the truth is that all it requires is a desire to kill people for a living. It's surprising how well one can do in such a field.
And it doesn't take any kind of special skill.
I don't know about that. It's simply a slightly different skill set from your average killer as I see it. An assassin simply specializes in striking from stealth, and in maximizing that first attack to be as lethal as possible. Debilitate your foe, either by poison or by crippling their limbs, makes any follow-up combat you need to engage in that much simpler.
That sounds useful.
See? Getting paid for the act is beside the point. An assassin is more a tactical choice than a lifestyle. Of course, the crows like to pretend that their abilities are trade secrets, shrouded in shadows and wrapped in a blanket of mystery. So let's just keep this between you and me, shall we?
Okay, so I assume that it's already been unlocked. I can't actually remember, but pretty sure all of these specializations are unlocked. I just thought maybe I'd be able to do it. Okay. There we are. Can you teach others to be an assassin?
I could teach others, but not yourself. First, I would need someone who has training as a rogue. That is, unless you would care to spend the years it takes to gain the fundamentals. But if there should be such a person who desires this training, yes, by all means, send them to me. The crows are already furious, no? I shall enjoy tweaking their nose further.
Okay, so we've unlocked assassin. Brilliant. Okay.
What is your desire?
I'd like to discuss something personal.
Again? I'm game.
Okay. You know, considering the way you talk, you must have considerable history. With women, I mean.
This could be a sensitive topic, my dear lady. Are you sure you wish to voyage there?
I did ask, didn't I?
As you wish. Let me start by saying that my history is varied, indeed. It has also not been restricted to women. Does that offend you?
Not really. Why should it?
Perhaps. That is entirely up to you. I grew up amongst whores, my dear. Sex is best when done well, and truly that is my only rule. Do I prefer women? Yes. Yes, I believe I do. But you must understand that a certain open-mindedness is sought by the crows in their recruits, for very good reasons.
What kind of reasons?
I have had to do many things in my work as an assassin, some pleasant and many not so. The crows recruit elven assassins because we are considered beautiful by humans. I'm sure you can imagine the rest. I cannot change my past, obviously. I regret far more than the men and women I have been with, and if that is more than you can bear, well, then it is good we know now, yes?
Your past doesn't bother me, Zevran. I only care about your future.
You're a better person than most, I suspect. Enough talk of the past. It is what lies ahead that is important, no?
Yes, absolutely. Okay, Zevran approves +5. I am so close to dragging you into a cave somewhere. Okay. Let's talk with Liliana.
Something I can help with?
Oh, could you teach me to be a bard?
I don't think you have the correct aptitude. I could give you some pointers, though. You may be able to pass them on to someone you know. Let's just go over there, away from the others. For safety, yes? I expect there shall be daggers flying about willy-nilly for a time.
Okay, specialization unlocked for bard. Brilliant, 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 brilliant. Okay.
Something I can help with?
I'd like to ask you something.
Yes? What's on your mind?
Why did you decide to come to Ferelden?
My mother was from Denerim, and I consider myself a Ferelden. Mother served an Orlesian noblewoman who lived here when Orlais ruled. When Orlais was defeated and the common folk began to resent the presence of any Orlesian, the lady returned to Orlais. She took my mother with her. I was born in Orlais and did not set foot in Ferelden till much later. Mother was always telling me stories of her homeland. I think she missed it.
What happened to her?
Mother died when I was very young. Lady Cecily let me stay with her. I had no one else. She was quite old then, and she had me study music and dance to entertain her. It is unfair that I have more memories of Cecily than my mother.
Unfair, yeah, but understandable. You were only young.
Strangely, the only thing I really remember of Mother was her scent. She kept dried flowers in her closet amongst her clothes. Small white Ferelden wildflowers with a sweet fragrance. Mother called them Andraste's Grace. They were very rare in Orlais. But enough about that. Let us move on.
Okay, Liliana approves +1, and we've already given her the Andraste's Grace. And pretty much every other gift in our inventory that could go to her as well. Yeah. Yep, definitely. Okay. Well, good to know, Liliana. Okay, let's try again.
Something I can help with?
I'd like to ask you something.
Yes? What's on your mind?
Is there anything about Orlais that you miss?
I miss Val Royeaux. Unlike other cities where the people are the lifeblood and the character, Val Royeaux was her own person, and her people little more than decorations. There was always music in Val Royeaux, streaming from the many windows, quiet refrains and triumphant choruses, and always, floating above that all, the chant, coming from the Grand Cathedral. It was magnificent.
Never been to Orlais. Sounds interesting.
If you get the chance, you should see it, at least Val Royeaux. Of course there are good things and bad things about Orlais, like anywhere else. Sometimes I miss it dearly, and sometimes I'm glad I'm rid of it. And you will laugh at this, but I miss the fine things I had in Orlais.
What kind of things?
Dresses, fine dresses and furs, and shoes, of course. One can't mingle with nobility with bad shoes, you see. Orlais is very fashionable, almost ridiculously so. But the shoes! Living with those ridiculous trends was worth it for the shoes.
I don't really see the fascination with shoes. Were they special?
Well, they're shoes. They're pretty. Some of them anyway. When I left Orlais, the fashion was shoes with delicate tapered heels and embellishments in the front. A ribbon, perhaps, or embroidery. In soft colors, of course. It was spring.
And it wasn't hard to walk in?
I wouldn't want to run in it, or have to enter battle, but for lounging in a lady's sitting room, perfect. The shoes made in Orlais were exquisite. Not at all like these clunky fur-lined leather boots you have in Ferelden. Ugh, just look at them.
Yeah, but I'm getting used to these Grey Warden shoes.
They're sturdy shoes, but sometimes a girl just wants to have pretty feet. Oh, I could talk about shoes all day, but we have things to do, don't we?
Okay, good. We didn't get any negatives, just from dissing shoes. That would have been quite bad. Okay. Well, good to know, Liliana. Good to know. Wynne, let's get talking with you.
Have you encountered many abominations, apart from the ones in the Circle Tower?
No. Those in the tower were the first I've ever seen.
The first time I saw an abomination, my blood turned to ice. It was months before the nightmares stopped. It was the knowledge that I could easily become one of them that frightened me the most.
But surely knowing what you could become helps to prevent you from ever being tempted to become it.
One slip. All it takes is one slip, and everything you are is simply gone. Replaced by madness. And there is no turning back. Or at least that's what they say.
Oh? You think there is a way back?
Of late, I have begun to wonder if there is any way an abomination can be cured. Or if a mage could be so possessed and still retain their sanity. Their humanity.
I think being possessed and being an abomination are two different things. As long as you still have your humanity, you're not an abomination, right?
Yes. It is madness and cruelty that define abominations. If those are lacking, if the mage remembers the person they truly are, then they are not an abomination. I never saw that. Thank you for showing me another way of looking at it.
You're welcome. +1. Only +1 win? I thought this would really, really special to you. Come on. Give me more than that.
So, tell me, how did you become a Grey Warden?
Well, it's personal, but I became tainted. Duncan took me from my clan because only joining the Grey Wardens could save me.
Then you became a Grey Warden out of necessity. But Duncan must also have seen something special in you. The Order does not take in recruits just to save their life. You must be proud to be able to represent your tribe and the Dalish as a Grey Warden.
The Dalish always does their duty to the clan. Mine was to show everyone the strength of the Dalish. And Duncan knew that. He respected our ways. I hope I can live up to it.
Sometimes it gives me comfort to think that everything will end up the way it's supposed to. That it will be all right. You were chosen. You survived the joining when others did not. Perhaps it was meant to be.
How do you know not everybody survived the joining? Wynne? How do you know? How do you know? That's the Grey Warden's secret. Okay. And again, Wynne.
I must ask, what does being a Grey Warden mean to you?
Well, I mean, it's about killing darkspawn and saving the world, isn't it?
There's that, of course. But there's more to being a Grey Warden than killing darkspawn and saving the world from the Blight. Ultimately, being a Grey Warden is about serving others. About serving all people, whether elves or dwarves or men.
I'm not here to serve anyone. I'm not one of your flat-eared dolls.
It is the Guardian who serves, not the one who is being guarded. Or did you think it was the other way around?
I've never thought of it in terms of serving at all. I'm just doing my duty.
As a Grey Warden, you are a guardian of men. And you guard them because their continued existence is more important than you are. Thus it is you who serves, not they.
If I'd known this was just another way to get elves to be your servants, I'd have elected to just die. Well, if that's how people see me, I'll have to see how I can turn that to my advantage.
A good king, a true king who cares for his land, uses his power to rule firmly but fairly. He serves his people first and foremost. The king who does not do this, who believes that he is entitled to his power, who abuses it and uses it for his own means, is a tyrant.
Sounds like most rulers I've heard of.
And the country suffers for it. If you live apart from others, and your actions affect only you, then you may do as you wish. But if you have power, influence, and strength, your every action will be as a drop of water in a clear, still pond. The drop causes ripples, and ripples spread. Think of how far they will go, how wide they will become, how will they affect the pond. But I've lectured enough for today. I should stop before I wear out my welcome.
Indeed, indeed. I'm a Dalish elf, Win. I'm gonna be sensitive over the word serve. Come on. Okay. So that didn't go quite as well, but I have to stick to my character. Even if I'm taking the word serve the wrong way. Alright, let's talk with Bodan and we'll get rid of that armor.
You and your friends are formidable folk, indeed. It's good to have you along on the road.
Let's see your wares.
I'm sure you'll be pleased with the goods my boy and I have collected, and with your discount.
Alright. Good. So, I think I'll have another go around the companions before I leave, but once that is done, we'll be going off to Honleith and hopefully collecting shale. And then I am actually thinking, for once, I might go to the Deep Roads before I go to Redcliffe. Partially because I want to put off going and helping the human lord for as long as I can. And because I don't usually do it this way, I always leave Orzammar till last, so I think it might be interesting having a bit more time with Oghren, really. But obviously, in order to do that, I need to collect shale first, because a lot of her backstory is tied up in Orzammar, so yeah. Well, I hope you enjoyed this. If you did, hit the like button. I upload 5 videos a week, so subscribe and you'll be notified when those go live. Hit the bell to update notifications. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.